Hi, everybody. Thanks for visiting LankSports.com. I'm Keith Schweigert. He's Jeff Reinhart, and we're here to preview one of our two spotlight games for Week 7 of the Lancaster-Lebanon League football season, the big Section 1 clash between McCaskey and Warwick. This one's going to kick off at 7 p.m. at McCaskey. I'm going to be blogging live from the game. And, Jeff, both of these teams are a game out in the Section 1 race, so they're worried about that. But they also got to start worrying about the district PowerPoints rankings, which are used to determine the playoff field because they're both in the top 16 right now. The season started on Friday, they would be in, but neither team can really afford too many more losses here or they're going to be on the bubble. So it's big implications for both teams. How do you see this one breaking down?
A rushing attack kind of a game. Two of the best feature backs in the league, quite frankly, going at it in this one head-to-head. Darren Thompson from Warwick, who has been off the charts. Just when you think somebody's going to hog tie him, he goes off for 334 and 5 touchdowns last week against Ephrata. 1,300 yards, 19 touchdowns. He's been awesome. Markeith Williams has been hot for McCaskey. Rushed for 218 last week in their Hail Mary win against Penn Manor. He's up over 350 yards in the last 2 weeks, so I think this is a rushing attack, grind them out in the trenches kind of a game. I think the line of scrimmage will be key for both teams, no doubt. Nobody has stopped Thompson, and nobody has stopped Williams here the last couple of weeks, so keep an eye on the rushing attacks for both teams. Trench warfare kind of a game. We'll see which running back has the best night, which line has the best night. That's how I break this one down.
Yeah, I think the most impressive thing about Thompson is for the last at least 3 or 4 weeks now, he's been facing 8 or 9 man fronts. I mean, you know coming in that to beat Warwick, you got to stop him. And even in knowing that and knowing that he's going to get the ball, because frankly, Warwick doesn't really spread it around too much beyond him as far as the rushing attack is concerned. In spite of all that, he's still getting his yardage. He's still getting scores. And he's also one of their best tacklers on defense. He returns kicks. I mean, he just does it all for them. So he's the guy you got to key on. Can McCaskey find some way to slow him down? I mean, McCaskey's defense is pretty good. I guess that's the big question coming in. How does that defense match up against Thompson?
Sure. McCaskey's got a top 5 defense in the league. They're only giving up just a tick over 200 yards a night. So they've been very good on defense. We really haven't talked about their defense a whole lot, but they've been great on that end of the ball. 17 takeaways, which is second best in the league, and they're a +8 in turnover ratio. So they've been very opportunistic. We'll see if they can get to Zach Hurst. Hurst is back now. He had the chicken pox, played last week, went 5 for 10. You're right. They just kind of feed Thompson. They kind of go with what got him there. They're not going to spread it out a whole lot. They really haven't asked Hurst to really open it up and win a game yet. So I'll be curious to see if McCaskey kind of gets after Hurst a little bit, maybe put some pressure on him, make him do some things, maybe try to keep the ball out of Thompson's hands as best as possible, try to tackle and wrap up when they can, because nobody has stopped Thompson at all. So big test for McCaskey's defense. We'll see if it's legit. Like I said, giving up just like 210 a game, that's it, with all the takeaways and the big plus number. But McCaskey's D will be under it to make plays this week, no doubt. Got to stop Thompson.
And as on McCaskey's side, I mean, you mentioned Markeith Williams, who is clearly the main weapon on offense, but he's not the only weapon. I mean, they have DeMarcus Sumter in the backfield as well. He's more the short yardage banger type guy than Williams is. They also have Deontay Cherry out on the flanks, and he's a very good receiver. So I guess the question for Warwick is how can that defense match up with McCaskey's speed? Because that's always the factor with McCaskey. And can they hold up against the battering ram of Sumter and Williams coming out around the sweeps?
I'm glad you mentioned Cherry, because he was kind of the secret weapon guy, but I think he's kind of out of the box now. I think everybody knows Deontay Cherry, and he had the game-winning catch last week, 41-yarder from Julio at the buzzer, and they beat Penn Manor on a Hail Mary pass. So I like Cherry a lot. I think he's going to be a major stud athlete kind of a kid, and I think without looking too far ahead, I think he's the feature tailback type next year. I think he steps in for Williams to get those carries next year, but a lot of weapons, like you said, oh my goodness, and a lot of speed and a lot of kids on the flanks, and Julio's been pretty efficient, and he had a good game last week and threw the touchdown pass at the horn, so both defenses will be under the gun here to make a lot of plays. One other quick thing to look at this game is penalties. McCaskey, 47 penalties, number 1 in the league. Warwick has 429 penalty yards against, which is most in the league.
Wow.
So both teams have been flagged a lot and for a lot of yards. So keep an eye on the yellow hankies in this one.
Great.
Yeah, super.
Which way are you leaning here?
I really like Warwick. Nobody stopped Thompson. I mean, he's just been unbelievable. I'll go Warwick here, but I think it's a great game. Could be, like I said, a good trench game. A lot of hand-to-hand combat in the trenches. Whoever wins that area will win, and I like Warwick there. I'll take the Warriors.
Yeah, I'm leaning toward them as well, although I think it's really going to be a very good game. Probably the biggest test for Thompson in terms of a defense that he's seen all year. I mean, of course, I haven't played Wilson yet, so that'll be a test too.
Right.
But I think they somehow find a way to get it done just because everybody's been lining up to stop him, for almost the whole season, and no one has yet. So we'll see how it works. Don't forget, if you can't make it out to the game on Friday night, be sure to stay with us at lanksports.com. As I mentioned, I'll be blogging live from the game. Jeff will be blogging live from our other Spotlight game, and we'll be bringing you all the updated scores from around the league. We'll have the final scores posted within minutes of the final buzzers, and Jeff and I will break down all of Week 7's action in a video late on Friday night. So thanks again for visiting lanksports.com, and enjoy the games on Friday.